What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with the overall market, what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers, what's happening with the news affecting the markets, and some very, very important things to consider. Before I do anything like this, though, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends very soon, in just about 3 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the market and these charts. If you look at Tesla's, things continuing to pump, looking quite strong, and especially compared to the market, Tesla's been outperforming very, very nicely and continuing to push to the moon. Now, it's not just Tesla, though. We saw the market rebound a bit looking at SPY, the QQQ, Aapl, and many other tickers. Nvidia is a little bit weak after some bad news came out, but overall it is trying to bounce. So I want to break down some important levels and talk about what's going on with these charts. So first off, for Tesla, like I reminded you guys in the morning, we got some very, very bullish news after Morgan Stanley analysts are upgrading Tesla. They're saying that Tesla has the potential to reach $400 a share. They also talked about the Dojo supercomputer, why it's going to be another bullish catalyst. And just right now, Tesla's broken another high for the day, once again looking very, very strong. But now I want to talk about something else because in the morning, we saw the market kind of drop a little bit. That's because we had some bad news come out for Aapl and Nvidia. And it did cause a slight sell-off, but the market's still trying to rebound despite it. But this was the news that came out. Basically, Qualcomm and Apple have extended their supply agreement through 2026, and this is on the eve of the iPhone 15 production. Now, it was supposed to expire this year, and it really shows that Apple is giving us more continued modem development delays. So what does this mean? Basically, Apple gets its chips supplied by Qualcomm, right? That's their big supplier. And Apple told us that back in like 2020, that they were going to be producing their own chips on their own, right? Very, very soon. They keep telling us, yeah, one day we're going to do it, we're going to achieve it. But instead, they've just continued to extend their agreement with their supplier instead. So the development and the innovation of Apple producing their own chips has been delayed once again. And this is not at all what many investors wanted. That's part of why Apple slowed down. There's also other pieces of news coming out about how Qualcomm has been projected to lose about 19% of its revenue because of some iPhone sales shortages. There's a possibility of that too. Not a guarantee, but all of that news came together and that led to some downside for Apple just temporarily before Apple started to rebound. Now, for Nvidia, we had Intel pushing the Nvidia chip competition. And this is some big news too because Intel's talking about its own AI accelerator chips. They claim it's benefiting a lot from the shortage of chips from the market leader Nvidia. And even though Nvidia is, it has very, very high demand and it may not be keeping up with the demand overall, they're saying that this is benefiting them and that they're going to once again get more and more strength as time goes on thanks to this. They mentioned that there's a challenge in getting GPUs and that they're taking advantage of this, and this is leading to more competition. So there's a lot of talk with this coming out. And many analysts were then starting to talk about bad news involving Nvidia, talking about potentially, is Nvidia a sell now? Could Nvidia keep up? And all these negative articles started coming out amidst this main piece of news. There are also other factors that played a role, but this is part of why Nvidia was underperforming a bit. Not really too horrible overall, so I'm hoping for Nvidia to try to hold up, but it did break below a critical support. So it's not looking as great, but I still want to break down the chart in just a couple of minutes. As a reminder to everyone, guys, tomorrow is going to be a big day for Apple. We have the September 12th event. The iPhone 15 is expected to be launched, and we're going to see how this affects Apple. So just be prepared. We'll see how this ends up going. So anyways, now let's talk about the charts. How are things looking? Tesla looks bullish, very, very strong, continuing to break up. We're going to be watching to see if this thing could try to break to about 274. If that breaks, 275 is on the table, then 277.5. Overall, very, very nice and bullish. Looking at SPY, we had a very, very strong open. We opened getting this liquidity grab, came down to this 200 EMA. We formed an inverse head and shoulders like pattern, right? Inverse head and shoulders formed. Then we saw this thing continuing to push up. Could be forming like a cup and handle before we get another very, very bullish close. I think the market is still looking quite strong. If you look at SPY, it's still strong. It dropped a little bit, but then it got bought right back up. And then look at the last few days. It's just uptrending and uptrending and uptrending. As you could see, SPY looks bullish overall. Looks like it's going to continue pushing and trying to get closer to 449 very, very soon. For Aapl, it got that drop off the negative news that came out. But despite that, we formed a bullish divergence right here. And it got the sell off, and now it's trying to rebound, trying to push right back up to about 180. So watch that 180 zone around the 200 EMA on the 15-minute time frame. Looking quite good so far for Aapl. If you look at Aapl overall, this thing has been making higher highs and higher lows. It did come down to this low here, but it could look like a double bottom like formation. But anyways, that doesn't really matter because as long as Aapl tries to get above this 180 area, it could still hold up. Still looking decent. So let's just see if Aapl could try to break this. Hopefully this doesn't lead to like a head and shoulders. I'm not seeing that just yet. We're going to be watching to see Aapl test this resistance at the very least. So there's more upside potentially coming, and we'll see how it reacts to the 200 EMA. So far, so good though. The QQQ had my target of about 377. As you can see, it's getting very close to 376.81. Not bad for the QQQ, basically reaching my price target, making higher highs and higher lows, looking bullish overall thanks to Tesla. Finally, Nvidia, a little bit weak after the new news about the competition that came out. It did enter very oversold territory trying to rebound. We're going to be watching to see if it could hold above 450. We're going to be watching this resistance around 453, our 50 EMA. It's a little bit weak compared to the market after the news came out, so I'm hoping Nvidia tries to get above our 50. But for now, it is making an attempt to rebound. Not looking that great, though. It did break below some critical support at 448, which is not a good sign. So I want to see if Nvidia could try to get above or try to hold the 50 EMA. It's showing some life, but it's just not looking too strong compared to the market. And it's very unfortunate. We're going to be watching it tomorrow, especially with Apple's event. But with that said, I just want to thank you all so much for listening. So anyways, hopefully this video was helpful for all of you out there. I'm going to be talking more to you guys about some other important updates in a while. But until then, just as a reminder, I really appreciate everyone out there. Please, please, please have an absolutely incredible day. And then make sure, and this is like one of the warnings that I would have, not financial advice, but the truth is, you want to be very careful when it comes to chasing in a market like this. You don't want to just FOMO up top and hope that you're just going to make gains instantly. The best way to go about this is, and the best hint I could give you would be to hunt for a good opportunity. So during this dip on Tesla, when Tesla was showing life and getting this breakout, this was a good entry opportunity here. Uh, more entries could come in the future. Just be very picky with them. Be careful. Don't just like FOMO for no reason whatsoever. Don't just jump in for no reason. Have some reasoning and some logic behind every single entry. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you, and peace out.